Goodbye is in standard tuning, and it's a really chordy song. There's a lot of things that are going on. But this opening riff is probably the most fun part about it to play, and it's also the most recognizable, but it's going to be taking place over an A chord that you'll play like this. You're going to put your second finger on the 6th string 5th fret, first finger on the 5th string 4th fret, and then pinky finger on the 3rd string 6th fret. And that's going to be your A chord. This is pretty typical of how Dave Matthews likes to make chord shapes. It's got a root and then 2/3 on it. Usually a chord consists of a 5th as well. That would be a 5th, but this chord does not have the 5th in it. It's just got a root and a 3rd. Alright, so after this chord, Dave Matthews slides up into a D. And this is one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of beginners make, is I think that as beginners that we have a tendency to mishear what is actually being played or mishear what frets are being fretted. I've seen a lot of people, try to fret this song like this or like that, adding in the 5th, or to slide up to the D and then slide back down to that 3rd of the A. But the way that Dave Matthews most commonly plays this is that he's going to come out of this A right here and then just slide up to the D for one count, and then move on to the next chord, which we'll get to in a second. If you isolate out just the notes and the accented parts of the strumming structure, here's what you get. You're going to hear me playing on the 6th string and the 3rd string, and then on the 5th string and the 3rd string. So 6 and 3, 5 and 3. So that's the accent structure that you have taking place over these chords. Now obviously you're strumming through them, but that is the feel that you should still have going as you're playing. Notice it doesn't come back down. So in order to do that, you're going to hit the A chord, and then with your 1st and 4th fingers, with your pointer and your pinky, you're just going to slide those units up to the D. Now as you do this, notice how I've got these fingers that are just down right here. They're serving a purpose. The purpose they're serving is to mute this lowest E for me, because if you were to just only, fret those strings right there and then let everything else ring out, it's going to sound really bad. Because there are a lot of notes that aren't being fretted that aren't a part of the chord. So you lay your hand down in such a way that you're muting all that crap and only getting these 2 Ds to ring out the way that you want them to ring out. Alright. After you have accomplished that, you're going to slide up into an E. And Dave Matthews tends to do this, I think, with his ring finger. Maybe sometimes he does it with his pinky. You can do whichever. But the slide is going to start on the 5th string 7th fret and slide up to the 5th string 11th fret. Once you get there, what you're going to do is lay down a little bar pattern here with your pointer finger on the 4th string and the 3rd string along the 9th frets. And you're also going to let this lowest 6th string, open E, ring out as well. And that's going to be your E chord. Then after the E, you're going to play a D chord, which is the exact same chordal shape as this A that we did earlier, but it's up on the 10th fret with your second finger on the 6th string 10th fret, first finger on the 5th string 9th fret, and then pinky finger on the 3rd string 11th fret. And then same concept in use here to the muting. Anything beyond those 3 notes, well, you can let this D right here ring open if you want to, because it's in the chord. But you're going to let your hand kind of lazily fall in such a way that anything that's not in the chord, like these, won't be ringing out. Okay, and then it goes back to the A. Sometimes whenever Dave Matthews plays live, he will actually, out of this D, walk down to the A by moving to a C sharp minor, which he'll play with his ring finger on the 6th string 9th fret and pinky finger on the 3rd string 9th fret. Move down again now to a B minor with your ring finger on the 6th string 7th fret, and pinky finger now on the 3rd string 7th fret, and then back down into the A. Over the verses, for the most part, we lose our pull up into the D, and it's just A chord up into your E chord, into your D chord, back down into your A chord. And there's a lot of kind of, contact that remains with the frets in between these chords, with Dave Matthews sliding up to the E, and then out of this D, a lot of times your 2nd finger keeps a lot of contact with this fretboard, and you kind of slide your way back down into that A as well. Alright, whenever you go to the verse, you're going to, or not the verse, the chorus, you're going to play a B minor as the first chord. Your B minor is going to be being played with your 1st finger on the 5th string 2nd fret, your ring finger on the 4th string 4th fret, pinky finger on the 3rd string 4th fret, and then 2nd finger on the 2nd string 3rd fret. After this, you're going to take your 2nd finger up, move it to the 6th string 4th fret, and plant it down. And this is going to be a hard chord to make because it's a bit of a stretch in terms of your fingers. A lot of times your fingers don't want to do this. And it's going to be important that you fret well on this, because we want all the notes that are being fretted to ring out. And even these that aren't being fretted could ring out and be fine as well. But if you're not, if you're not good with your fretting hand right here, then you could get a really bad sounding chord. If you're lazy with how you're fretting it or not fretting right, you could get something that sounds really buzzy and bad. So make sure that you're on top of how you fret that. Arch your fingers up and make sure that you get good contact and good frets out of that. After this chord, you're going to come into an A. The A is a pretty standard A chord. You're going to fret it with your 1st finger across the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings on the 2nd fret, allowing your A string to lead the chord in and ring out throughout it. After the A chord, it goes into a D chord, which Dave Matthews plays like this. You've got your 1st finger on the 6th string 2nd fret, you've got your 2nd finger on the 3rd string 2nd fret, and you've got your pinky finger, or maybe Dave Matthews uses his ring finger, on the 2nd string 3rd fret. It doesn't matter which finger you use, just whichever is most comfortable for you. That's his D chord. After running through that chorus a few times, the chorus will resolve with a G. You're going to play your G with your 2nd finger on the 6th string 3rd fret, 1st finger on the 5th string 2nd fret, pinky finger you're going to plant down on the 4th string 4th fret. The 3rd string G will ring open, and your 2nd string will be fretted with your ring finger on the 3rd fret, and that's your G chord that you're playing. And then it, out of the G, jumps back up into the D. Alright, lastly, whenever you get to the outro of the song, there's going to be an A. Out of the A, it goes to the G that we just talked about, and then up to the D that we just talked about. And those are the chords for Say Goodbye.